I work. Welcome to part two, nokayfabe.com. Can you give me your analogy on the word kayfabe?
What do you mean? I don't understand the question.
Can you give a definition
What
of the word kayfabe?
It means secret, right? Keeps it, it's a secret.
Can you give an example?
I'm sure that they wanted Brock's appearance at Raw to be a kayfabe, knowing the no, but everybody knew he was backstage at WrestleMania.
Thank you. Good example. Can you still flip off the ropes?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah?
I haven't done it, but sure, I bet I can.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
The landing might be a little harder, but I bet I can.
Right, you said you and Taz used to train guys and put them chain wrestle before anything. What's chain wrestle?
Headlock, hammer lock, like we lock up and I get a hammer lock, you reverse it, I get a headlock, lock. That's it. That used to be, the beginning of every match.
Yeah.
And like when I was in USWA with Lawler, now kayfabe there, that was the most important thing, kayfabe. Baby faces dressed in one part of the building, heels dressed in another part. You didn't see each other before the matches. You were never allowed to be together outside of the building or anything. So you would, communicate with each other. We'd lock up, wrestle around a little bit to figure out what we're doing as we're going, That's kind of a lost art now.
Yeah. For everybody that says wrestling is fake, what are the 3 worst injuries that you ever had?
It's not fake, it's predetermined. It's not fake. I promise that I hit you as hard as I fucking can. I don't hit you in the eyes, ears, or nose. But when I clothesline you as hard as I can. Everything I do, and I expect you to do the same to me. I've torn both my ACLs, I've had back surgery, I have pins in my left elbow, I have pins in my right hand. Them are all minor injuries. I know guys, that have fused necks and stuff. I have a fused neck, but it's not from wrestling. So I don't have my right shoulder. I have a shoulder replacement. Wrestling's not fake. It's fixed. There's a difference.
Yeah. The reason why I ask because I defend wrestling a lot, and you hear that a lot. I know you must know. You hear that a lot, and I get aggravated, and sometimes, for me to explain, and I'm not a wrestler, I think it looks better when a wrestler explains,
it's fixed. It's not fake. We did that movie for WCW, Ready to Rumble.
Yeah.
That's fake. What they do, they throw punches and miss you by like 4 miles, and everything's with camera angles. Yeah. The director and stuff, they were all over us because we were hitting each other and but that's how you wrestle. That's what we do. That's what we're used to doing. So anybody who's been in the ring and wrestled knows that we'll tell you it's not fake. That pay-per-view that you were at, that I did after the ring, from not being in the ring so long, I was covered in bruises from hitting the ropes and stuff. Yeah. That's not fake, man.
Yeah, and that cut, I remember.
From when I hit my head on the floor when I dove through.
The chair, right?
Yeah, when I dove through. Yeah.
But that cut was definitely not fake.
But it just the simple thing of running into the ropes. I had bruises because your body developed like a tolerance for that. The more you do it, and I didn't do it in so long. But I still hit the ropes like I was doing it every day, So, and I was all bruised up.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of times you hear that, people say that, and the first thing I say is, you think it's fake, let me slap you then. Tell me the slaps they give it a fake. Let me slap you. If you tell me no, then that's telling me you think it's real, because why wouldn't you let me slap you then? You understand?
Yeah. Eyes, ears, and nose you never touch. Anything else, I hit.
Yeah, no doubt. What are your thoughts on how the wrestling industry has evolved?
Pretty amazing from being little territorial things to being to where WWE is known worldwide. You know what I mean? I mean, communist countries like North Korea, they know what WWE is. That's pretty amazing.
It's funny you bring up the indies. I was just gonna ask you, what's the difference between the indies and territories?
Territories is you work for a company and you work the same area. You know, it's an organized indies, I guess. Where the indies isn't organized. You know, like I worked in the Mid-South territory, which was Memphis, Arkansas, Alabama, Missouri. You know, down there for Lawler, and we had TV in Memphis, and but that TV also aired in Louisville, Kentucky. You know, so and Mondays we were in Memphis, Tuesday Louisville, Wednesday Evansville, Thursday, Friday house shows somewhere. Saturday morning we did TV in Memphis, like 8 o'clock in the morning. We had TV, live TV, and then Saturday night we wrestled in Nashville. And
So territories was much bigger.
yeah, it was organized. You know, you were in the same town. You know, like ECW was a territory.
Why do you think that can't? Why do you think they don't? Like you saying, they was running shows almost every day of the week. Why is it that now they only run shows on the weekends and they don't run shows, you know, during the week the way they used to do in the territories?
Because, like, when the territories were popular, WWE wasn't as popular as it is now.
Yeah.
You know, so, like, that you didn't have an option to see WWE.
Yeah.
You watched, like in Memphis, you watched the Memphis television.
I understand.
You know, now that it's national,
Yeah,
worldwide.
on the TV.
Yeah,
It's
you know,
on
like
TV.
it was syndicated television. You know,
Yeah.
like I could wrestle in Memphis for a year, and then go wrestle in the Minneapolis area for the Gagnes for a year. And when I was in Memphis, the people in Minneapolis area would have no idea that I was in Memphis. You know, now that you know everything.
You ever met Yokozuna?
Yes, yeah,
Can you speak about him?
he was cool too. You know,
I heard he
cool.
was gangster.
Yeah, he was. I don't know. He was wicked cool. I met him at pay-per-view in WCW in Vegas. It must have. He wasn't. He lived in Vegas, you know.
Oh, okay.
And me and Nash went to, like, he had a school there or something. You know, yeah, he was a wrestling school there. We went to the wrestling school. It was some pay-per-view. Whatever the October pay-per-view was that they would always do in Vegas, and Eric wanted Yoko to do a run-in on the pay-per-view, so Nash went there to try to talk him, and Nash and I were traveling together, so I went with Nash, you know. So that's the only time I met him.
So that's the only time you ever met.
Yeah. So he didn't want to do it. He told Nash no.
I know. I heard he took something disrespectful that they did, and I heard about that. I asked about him because I don't know, for some reason I like hearing about him, and then I heard he was gangster. Like who was it that's Conan? Conan said he went out with him and that he just knew gangsters and they respected him and
all them Samoans, gangster crazy too, man.
Yeah.
And tough as fuck, and everyone I've ever met.
yeah. How long were you in the Army?
4 years.
From what age to what age?
17 to 21.
So you went to college after that?
Yeah. While I was trying to wrestle, you know, break in Boston, I went to a community college there. You know, I was trying to break into the business.
So you went straight to college from the Army while you was breaking into the business?
Yeah,
At the same
but
time?
I wrestled, I bounced at a bar, and I went to school.
Wow, for 4 years, you got your bachelor's.
It actually took me 5.5 years to get.
You got your bachelor's?
Yeah, I got a
degree.
bachelor's. Yeah.
Wow.
So it took me
Nice.
5.5 years to get it, but I got it. Just,
Cool.
you know, because I was working on weekends, independence, and I was bouncing at a bar, you know, that's what I was, you know.
Why do you think nowadays wrestlers accomplish so much more when back in the days they worked so much better?
They accomplish more now because it's mainstream more, you know, it's mainstream entertainment. And I don't necessarily think they work better then, they work different.
You wouldn't say older wrestlers from your time were better than the guys that are in WWE right now?
No, it's just different. Now, there's different levels of experience. The guys don't have the same opportunities that I did to get the experience, you know, the work territories and stuff. So, you know, like you can't compare somebody who's worked 2 years to somebody that's worked 8 years, you know. So, and these guys are getting opportunities to be on TV sooner than what they were when I was working.
Yeah.
But the work, I don't think the quality of work has decreased, it's just changed. And where a lot of guys are learning on TV and WWE, where it used to be, you know, you were seasoned before you were ever there.
What are some of your thoughts about life itself? Things that just run through your mind.
Oh, let me see. Life's long, that no matter what you got today, you can change it tomorrow. You know, like different parts of my life, it seems like different people, you know, like it's hard to believe today sometimes that I was that drug addict not too long ago, or even that I was that guy on the road all the time wrestling, you know, and before that I was the bouncer at the titty bar, going to school, riding a bike, you know. I've done so many, I've been lucky, I've done so many different things, and no, you can change, you can make a change if you want, you know, that's what I think. That at least for me, I've been fortunate to where my life is long enough to where if it's shitty today, if I keep working, I can make tomorrow better.
Yeah. Do you think it's just a downtime and it will pass, or do you think it's going to take something fresh, new to bring the wrestling business back? Or do you think it's just impossible?
Back to what it's on TV, it's known worldwide. I think it's pretty popular now, and I think that if you look at through history, it's always circular. You know, it's up for a while, down for a while, up for a while. So you know, I don't know how it's gonna. Like it's everywhere. Who doesn't know the people that are on TV? You know. I think it's pretty good right now. These guys are in movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
Think about it, you know.
If you look at it that way, I guess you're right. But
that's what it is now.
I'm going to be honest with you. I hear everything you're saying, and I kind of disagree with you in a sense because, all right, I'm going to give you an example. Watch an Arn Anderson interview and show me an interview that stands next to that interview nowadays. An Arn Anderson interview. And he's a guy that back then I didn't even realize how good he was until now that I watch his interviews. I don't think you can see an interview like Arn Anderson did an interview today.
Well, Arn was one of the best of all time, you know. I'm a big football fan. How many Tom Brady's are there? So how many Arn Andersons are there? You know what I mean? Football's not dead only because there's only a couple quarterbacks that good. You know, I think that these guys. I don't know how much money they're making. You know, it is none of my business. But I know they got opportunities where I've seen a couple different guys were on Psych, which is an awesome show. I love that show. They're doing movies and stuff. That they got it pretty good. You know, it's pretty popular. How many people know like? The Rock is a movie star because of wrestling, not because he was a good actor, you know. Not that he's not a good actor, but he wouldn't have got that opportunity if it wasn't for wrestling. So if wrestling wasn't popular...
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. We could go out at this conversation all day.
It's different now. It's different. It's not going to change, go back to the way it was. It's different now.
Yeah, that it would never be... I don't know, it's just, I don't. It seems like they don't have the experience to be in the ring right now. Those
They don't
kids
have
that
the
are in
experience, so they don't. There's nowhere for them to learn. Arn wrestled in territories, you know, and he honed his skills over the years, working, you know, opening match in this territory, and then going to this territory and working mid-card. You know, he worked his way around. These guys go from a wrestling school to WWE television or to TNA television. You know, there's nowhere for them to learn.
Yeah.
So, and that really sucks for the business. A lot of guys are on TV that are so green that you know, you would be years in the in territories and stuff before you get that opportunity. Where now they're getting it earlier, you know.
Yeah.
So that affects a lot of the quality, if you want to say call it, of the business. You know what I mean? The guys aren't as good as workers because they don't have the opportunities to get there. Like I tell guys that are breaking in the business and trying to learn, nothing replaces time. It just takes a long time to learn how to actually work, you know?
So you think the written scripts could add up to the way
Oh, I hate
basically
with the written script stuff. I don't do that. I can't.
the promos? I mean, you know, like when they.
I
come out
can't
and
do
get
that
the
either. I have to ad-lib everything. I ad-lib the match.
See, that's what I mean about it being better back then from today.
Well,
This is what they do today on a regular basis.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. So
You know?
like me, I couldn't do
So
that.
you know, it's little things like that that I mean, like that make the wrestling back then better than today. You know, where you don't have somebody saying, "Here, this is what you're gonna do."
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
Understand?
First, there's no way I could do it. Like,
And a lot of little other examples I can give you. You know,
I can't work a match that way. I can't, you know.
you call it in the ring.
Yeah, we got to.
Call it in the ring, right?
Yeah.
In '97, certain things that happened, such as the curtain call, made it seem like insiders were still trying to protect the business. Why you think is that when Vince had been exposed to business like 10 to 12 years before that already?
Anything done was done for business reasons, like the business being exposed, making it known that it's entertainment.
Yeah.
Gives you a lot more options on what you can do. Still to this day, I don't know how they get away with it, but some states have athletic commissions,
Yeah.
that, like New York does.
Yeah.
You know, it's not an athletic competition, you know, but it's just so. I think that part of the reason why the business was exposed for that purpose. The entertainment, you just have more leeway on what you can do, you know.
So the question is, why is it that in '97, when they did the curtain call,
What is the curtain call?
the current call when you was in WCW or ECW at the time, but when Nash and Hall was leaving and Madison Square Garden, they all came together in the middle
Oh,
of the
okay.
ring, the current call. That's the current call. Well, when they did that, they all got heat. Remember, Triple H guy, they all got heat. Nash and Hall was leaving, so
Yep.
nothing happened to them. Shawn Michaels champion, nothing happened to him. Triple H got the heat for that. Now, that's my question. Now we're in 1997. Vince had already been years before that told exactly what wrestling was. So why give them the heat as if they did something wrong when you know darn well you already told us about the whole business? You understand?
Yeah.
I think that don't make no sense.
Yeah, it does, but I think that they probably got heat, and I'm guessing because I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Probably got heat for doing something that they were either told not to do.
They
or
said they asked permission. They did say they asked permission.
And did they get permission?
Triple H said he did.
Well, then I don't know why. I don't know why then, because a common thought process in WCW was it's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission. So if they asked for permission, I don't know why they got heat. I couldn't tell you that. I don't see why either then.
Yeah, I don't think that makes any sense.
It doesn't make sense if that's true. Now, if they just did it without asking,
Yeah.
I can see where a boss can get pissed.
Yeah, of course.
But
of
if
course.
they ask,
But if
you
they
know-
ask, Okay, you know, kayfabe, it existed at the time, but I knew. I already knew
Yeah,
wrestling. You know, I ain't gonna fly. I was there that day in the curtain call, and it did. Like I didn't understand what was going on. It was a little like, what's like these guys just finished fighting, now they hugging, but deep down inside, I already knew the business. So I figured, I said, okay, these guys always think they all friends, and you know.
And I don't know, like I can't intelligently speak on what Vince is thinking because I'm not Vince, but I know that out of every arena that I've ever been to, he cares more about Madison Square Garden than anyone. That has personal, sentimental value to him. You know, I think because I'm guessing too, but why? But I think because his dad was there. Like that's a big. That building is more important than any building. You know.
Yeah.
So and they did it there. Maybe that had something to do with it. I really don't know.
Yeah. How did you find out about the jump when y'all made that jump to WWE?
What do you mean? How did I find out?
How did you find out when the whole process was going down, when you was gonna make the jump? How did everything go down?
Oh, how did I? Well, Eric. They just let Eric go. Bill Bush. We knew that.
Eric Bischoff?
Yeah, they just let Eric
Oh,
go.
yeah?
We knew that Bill Bush was the new boss, but he was an accountant. He wasn't a wrestling guy. So, but the WCW was bleeding money so bad that they put an accountant in charge, thinking he could fix it.
Oh,
Kevin Sullivan was now the booker, who Kevin hated Benoit, and you know there's a lot of heat there.
Yeah.
And Bill had this big meeting and said if anybody didn't want to be there, he'd let him go. So we called him on it. We knew that our time.
All four of y'all at the same time right there?
Yeah, we called him, and it got, and like, there's a lot of bullshit things going on, like, Vince Russo just got there, you know, and like, Vince would have me and Dean and Chris in some sort of match where we were going over, that's what he'd write, and then Kevin and Mike Graham would come to us and give us the finish where we were doing the job.
Yeah,
They were screwing us all the time. So there was big heat there, and we just wanted out. The place sucked. It just sucked to be there. And we seen an opportunity to get out and jumped on it.
How the hell did they give Benoit a belt one day before he left?
Because they didn't think we'd leave. They're so stupid. Like, they knew, like, the next day, it was in Cincinnati, and I was pretty vocal, you know, and I'm screaming at Bill Bush in front of everybody, telling him, you know, you'd be a fucking man of your word. You said you'd let us go, calling him a piece of shit. I mean, I was way out of line, but I was furious, and then I bitched about Mike Graham switching the finish on us, and Mike said, you know, well, fuck you guys, you know, I'll stab every one of you. He threatened us. So I did, the only next thing I could do, I called Time Warner's public relations department and said that they were supplying an unsafe work environment for all of us, and that we were suing, our wives were worried about us at work, their bosses were threatening our lives, and we made it to a big fucking deal where they had no choice but to let us go.
Yeah.
And we'd have been on Raw the next week, but they had a blizzard in Baltimore and we couldn't get there, so it took us 2 weeks to be on Raw.
The heat with Mike Graham and Benoit was because Mike Graham and Kevin Sullivan are cool, right? So he just backed up Kevin Sullivan, and he's shorter than y'all, right, Mike Graham?
Yeah, I'm pretty short too, though. So, but yeah.
But you met him in person?
Yeah, I know Mike. Yeah.
You met him?
Yeah.
He's shorter than you, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think so.
The reason why I asked, because I seen an interview and he's calling you all short and things like that, and he used to. I'm just like, that's real hypocritical, because you used to wrestle. And you shorter than them, yet you telling them they problem in the business is being short. You shorter than them.
Yeah, but anything, he's like a little nipping dog. That, you know.
You ever met his father?
No. I heard his father was a pretty good businessman and stuff. I don't know. I never met him. You know.
Yeah.
I have nothing positive to say about Mike. You know. Yeah. So why sit here and bash him? You know, either. You know. Like,
Yeah.
But. Mike and Kevin Sullivan either. I don't like Kevin Sullivan.
Really?
Kevin Sullivan's a liar, and that's it. Kevin Sullivan would just sit there and lie to your face, and that's it. No way around it.
Wow.
And we all had heat because we were friends with Benoit, and there was the heat with Benoit and Kevin, you know what I mean? So, and the only thing Kevin told me during that time, they at least had the decency, which he was the booker, and he told us that I don't see any money in you guys. I will never push you. That's the only
decent. Kevin?
Kevin.
Yeah.
That's the only decent thing he ever did, as far as I'm concerned, was honest to us. Hey, because if he didn't see money in me, then it's his booking. So I have no problem with that. Be honest to me, you know.
I find that so weird because Kevin Sullivan to be one that I think knows the business, and for him to look at you and say that.
But
when I used to look at you in ECW, the minute I looked at you, you stood out. That eliminators.
Yeah.
You stood out. The minute I looked at you, you stood out. I don't know how can he say that.
Because I'm assuming he let personal feelings cloud his
had to be. That's why I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't understand. It had to be that.
But I'll give him credit for that. Instead of lying or bad mouthing, he told me to my face, I don't see any money in you guys, so I will never push you. So I give him credit for that.
I hear you. If this was your last day on earth, what would you want to say to your loved ones, fans, and whoever supported you in life?
Boy, that's a tough one too, man.
I like tough questions. I think of tough questions.
I'd like to let them know that I'm sorry for the shit I did, but I think they know. You know, I think I've been able to come across as letting them know, you know, like the regrets I have, you know, the drugs, you know, the way that I let decisions in my life affect other people. And then the people that were important to me, I'd like to make sure they know that they were important to me, because I'm sometimes closed and don't let people know things like that, you know, like Raven or Dean Malenko. Like I respect Dean Malenko more than I do anybody on the planet. I don't know if he knows that, you know what I mean? Like I at one time, Dean and I were so close, I would have killed or died, anything for Dean, you know. Yeah. So Raven and I have been friends forever, and I could always count on Raven for anything, you know what I mean? Like so, and I do appreciate them things, and hope that I gave them some of what they gave me.
Yeah.
So.
Raven's a funny dude.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I'll be watching his he got a YouTube channel. Oh man, that guy's hilarious. He actually tells the fans on YouTube he likes presents, to send them presents to his house, and gives his address, tells the address, send them here, the present. Yo, he's buzzed out. And then his next episode, he thanks everybody that literally sent him presents. They sent him presents. He's funny, yo. He be having me dying.
His biggest flaw is he has a genius IQ. It's like off the charts.
Yeah, I know.
I'm really high, like 180.
I know. I heard it.
He assumes that he's so much smarter than everyone else that he puts no effort into outthinking people, and sometimes he's so transparent. Me and Disco used to joke that he's the dumbest smart man we've ever met. You know, that's his biggest flaw, is that he's so much more intelligent than everyone else that he doesn't think that he's being that transparent. You know,
that's funny. I would love to interview him. All right, why do you think wrestling gets such a bad rap? Meaning the disrespect of the profession itself, and the fact the news is always trying to come at the industry in some type of way.
I have no idea why people like.
Even the disrespect, you know, that people, you know, without even knowing, say it's fake, and you know, things like that. Why do you think it gets such a bad rap like that?
I have no idea. That used to frustrate the hell out of me too. It's like, it was some people to where expected you to almost be ashamed to say you were a wrestler. You know? I don't know why. Yeah. I don't know why that. You know. That's hard. I have no idea why it is. You know.
You know what's the first thing that comes to mind to me? Not for nothing. And this is a funny analogy that I have, but I've heard people say men in tights. I think that's I think that
Maybe.
plays a part, believe it or
Maybe,
not.
yeah, maybe it does.
Because I'm telling you, I've heard guys say, I don't want to watch the men in tights.
And I think that another stereotype is big muscle had no brains, so they assume that they're all idiots. And
that's another thing. They think people.
and a lot of these guys are all college graduates. And,
that's exactly why I wanted you to say education.
Because so I think that's part of it too. All muscle, no brains type stuff. Times have changed too. Like you see now, football players getting DUIs and shit all the time.
Yeah.
15 years ago, the cop would have drove the quarterback home. Now they booking them. His pictures. Just times have changed. Like people are, I think, at a root jealous of anybody successful. Maybe
Man. Most likely, man. I never thought about it
because
that way, that?
Like when I was on TV all the time. I could have done just about anything, got away with it. Now you can't do anything.
Yeah.
It's on. Just, I think the times have changed. Yeah. But also forever.
I think you're right, and in a sense, I think there's just a lot of ignorant people in the world.
The attorney in WCW, her name was Diane Myers. Couldn't stand her either. Told Sonny Ono one time, that she couldn't stand the fact that a bunch of muscle-headed bouncers made more money than her when she was a college grad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was her perception of the wrestling.
Yeah.
So I think that's a lot of people's perception.
Yeah. Yeah, that's sad.
Now, there's some pretty dumb fucking guys
But
in
it's not really
too.
sad neither. You know why? Because a wrestler's smart. So when you stand in front of them and show your intelligence, you show them how stupid they are.
Yeah.
It's
no different than any other walk of life. There's some idiots in wrestling too.
Yeah, of course.
But it's just that I don't know. Yeah, that stereotype I think because of all brawn, no brains, and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
And the men in tights things, like you said.
Maybe jealousy too, like you said.
Yeah. Because people, I tell my wife that all the time. She's sometimes so naive. People generally aren't happy for somebody else.
Yeah.
They're just not.
It's true.
You're all people. Envy
is
a more common trait than anything.
You're right, man. It's true, man. It's sad too. That's sad because that's saying you're hating on somebody.
Yeah, we're flawed.
People,
man as a whole is flawed. You know what I mean? You have to work to make improvements.
Yeah, exactly. Make it happen. Anyway, we're gonna cut part 2. We'll be back with part 3. Probably the last part.
And them are all minor injuries. I know guys, that have fused necks and stuff. I have a fused neck, but it's not from wrestling. So I don't have my right shoulder. I have a shoulder replacement. Wrestling's not fake. It's fixed. There's a difference.
Yeah. The reason why I ask because I defend wrestling a lot, and you hear that a lot. I know you must know. You hear that a lot. And I get aggravated, and sometimes for me to explain, and I'm not a wrestler, I think it looks better when a wrestler explains,
it's fixed, it's not fake. We did that movie for WCW, Ready the Rumble.
Yeah.
That's fake. What they do, they throw punches and miss you by like 4 miles, and everything's with camera angles. Yeah. The director and stuff, they were all over us because we were hitting each other. But that's how you wrestle. That's what we do. That's what we're used to doing, So anybody who's been in the ring and wrestled knows that we'll tell you it's not fake. That pay-per-view where WWE is known worldwide. You know what I mean? I mean, communist countries like North Korea, they know what WWE is. That's pretty amazing.
It's funny you bring up the indies. I was just gonna ask you, what's the difference between the indies and territories?
territories is you work for a company and you work the same area, you know, it's an organized indies, I guess, where the indies isn't organized. You know, like I worked in the Mid-South territory, which was Memphis, Arkansas, Alabama, Missouri, you know, down there for Lawler, and we had TV in Memphis, and but that TV also aired in Louisville, Kentucky, you know, so, and Mondays we were in Memphis, Tuesday Louisville, Wednesday Evansville, Thursday, Friday, house shows somewhere. Saturday morning we did TV in Memphis, like 8 o'clock in the morning we had TV, live TV, and then Saturday night we wrestled in Nashville. And
so territories was much bigger.
Yeah, it was organized, you know, you were in the same town. Lock up and I get a hammer lock, you reverse it, I get a headlock, stop hands lock. That's it. That used to be, you know, the beginning of every match.
Yeah.
And like when I was in USWA with Lawler, you know, now kayfabe there, that was the most important thing, kayfabe. Baby faces dressed in one part of the building, heels dressed in another part. You didn't see each other before the matches. You were never allowed to be together outside of the building or anything. So you would, you know, communicate with each other. We'd lock up, wrestle around a little bit to figure out what we're doing as we're going, you know. That's kind of a lost art now.
Yeah. For everybody that says wrestling is fake, what are the 3 worst injuries that you ever had?
It's not fake, it's predetermined. It's not fake. I promise that I hit you as hard as I fucking can. I don't hit you in the eyes, ears, or nose. But when I clothesline you as hard as I can. Everything I do, and I expect you to do the same to me. You know, I've torn both my ACLs, I've had back surgery, I have pins in my left elbow, I have pins in my right hand. That you were at, that I did after the ring, from not being in the ring so long, I was covered in bruises from hitting the ropes and stuff. Yeah. That's not fake, man.
Yeah, and that cut, I remember.
Yeah, from when I hit my head on the floor when I dove through.
The chair, right?
Yeah, when I dove through. Yeah,
but that cut was definitely not fake.
But it just the simple thing of running into the ropes. I had bruises because your body developed like a tolerance for that the more you do it. And I didn't do it in so long, but I still hit the ropes like I was doing it every day, you know. So, and I was all bruised up.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of times you hear that, you know, people say that, and the first thing I say is, you know, you think it's fake, let me slap you then. Tell me the slaps they give it a fake. Let me slap you. If you tell me no, then that's telling me you think it's real, because why wouldn't you let me slap you? You know, you understand?
Yeah. And eyes, ears, and nose, you never touch. Anything else, I hit.
Yeah, no doubt. What are your thoughts on how the wrestling industry has evolved?
Pretty amazing, from being little territorial things to being...
Welcome to part 2, NoKayfabe.com. Can you give me your analogy on the word kayfabe?
What do you mean? I don't understand the question.
Can you give a definition of the word kayfabe?
It means secret, right? Keeps it, it's a secret.
Can you give an example?
I'm sure that they wanted Brock's appearance at Raw to be a kayfabe, knowing the no, you know, but everybody knew he was backstage at WrestleMania.
Thank you. Good example. Can you still flip off the ropes?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah?
I haven't done it, but sure, I bet I can.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
The landing might be a little harder, but I bet I can.
Right, you said you and Taz used to train guys and put them chain wrestle before anything. What's chain wrestle?
Headlock, hammerlock, you know, like we